Welcome everyone to another Whaleshares Hangout. Today is Tuesday, October 16th, 2018, and every week we meet up in the official Whaleshares Discord to talk all things Whaleshares. Talk about the platform, any new updates and community initiatives that are running, and answer any questions that users and other community members might have. Joining us each week are several of the Whaleshares witnesses, as well as some of the dev and launch team members. We're all here to answer questions as you have them. This week, we're talking about community. This is something that we talk about often, but this week we're going to put a little bit of a focus on it because we do have members of the community that are starting to put out the first initiatives that are bringing together members, not just on Discord, but organizing you over on the Whaleshares platform, which allows you to network with other members, create your own communities, find people with similar interests, and really grow things organically the way it's supposed to be. And there's also a social media outreach program that's coming as well, so we'll talk about that later on. Now, we know that the Whaleshares really has, its core focus really came from community. That's where it was born, over on the Steemit platform. It was a community before it became its own blockchain, and it revolved around the people who were part of the Whaleshares community always helping each other, helping the community, and also outreaching to associated projects that came over to Whaleshares, either looking for assistance, and most times they didn't even ask for assistance, but people from the community saw those opportunities to help. Remember, Official Fuzzy had the original cross-chain support tokens, which were Whaleshare and Beyond Bits, which were used over on the Steemit platform. Those were used to promote community projects, as well as support development projects, and helped us actually get to where we are now with the Whaleshares being its own blockchain. But the Whaleshare and Beyond Bit tokens were used in one of the bigger community events, which was known as the Whale Tank, and that ran for many, many months over on Steemit and supported lots of projects that came through. That's something that we'll be getting going again as we probably had a month out or so. The Whale Tank will come back to life, and this time it will be done properly on our new platform, where you have more than one whale that's actually doing the supporting. Over on Steemit, it didn't really work because there was a conflict of interest with many of the whales over there. It was easier to create bid bots and do other things that created more wealth for yourself than helping to distribute that wealth out to the community and to other projects that are being done. So Fuzz really picked up the slack there and became the solo whale supporting most of the outreach programs over on Steemit. So now on Whaleshares, as you all know, you go to whaleshares.info, you can see the list of the whale tokens that are backed by some of the larger whale accounts on the platform, and you'll see there's a whole range from writing, photography, general use. They're out there, and when we get this new community Whale Tank program running, there's now that much more support that we're able to give back to the community and then help encourage others to grow their whale stake, create their own tokens later on. We're still waiting to figure out what the official requirements are for whale tokens and how that will fully work. There will be minimum whale stake that has to back a token and other requirements as far as how you engage in the community and the ways the tokens are used, but it's all serving that general purpose of bringing everyone together and building this community feeling. We used to have that on our parent platform. It's been lost, and I'm sure everyone has seen through your own post now how much participation, interaction in it. There's comments, discussions that are happening in the replies, and that's the way it really should be. And then, of course, as an extension of the platform, we have Discord, and people come in. We have these events, different kind of curation shows, different hangouts. We have the music lounge, and all these different things that are bringing people together to kind of underscore that community feel of what the platform is all about. So that's really, we don't have any, like I say, official announcements this week. We did have our power down that started, say, 15 days ago. Over the last 2 weeks, we've seen the value of WLS over on the DEX kind of go up and down, start a bit high, dip lows, come back into a medium range, and we're starting to see some volume pick up. So it's pretty much what's expected. I'm sure we'll have some more ups and downs along the way as we find what the fair market value is going to be as more tokens hit the DEX and that liquidity increases. So far, we're off to a good start. Um, there hasn't really been many complaints in the last 2 weeks. The process, though, of claiming your share drop, if you know anyone on the BitShares DEX who hasn't claimed yet, let them know. We are in that second claim period. Um, but there hasn't really been any issues or problems that have come up since last week. Everything's running smooth. There's no real user complaints that have come across to any of the admins or mods. Things seem to be running pretty smooth, so we're happy about that. So basically what we'll do now is, even if Krista wants to step up and give any views on the community as well, because she plays a very big role. Besides just being admin, mod, launch team, dev team, and all these things that you know her for, she's very active in the community, coordinating things, coordinating with her own token, coordinating other people's tokens, getting people to meet up, helping with the onboarding of new members and account programs. So these are all the things that we do as part of the leaders that you see that are stepping up to build this community, and it's kind of what we're hoping to instill in everyone else, and get everyone together and just keep focusing on this community term and bring everyone together. So, Krista, if you have anything to say about it, hop up and give your views.
Yeah, I just have a brief update before we bring our guest of the night on. As far as the onboarding process, the sign up process is getting revamped right now. Currently, the way that it is working is you go on a pending list and it takes a long time. And sometimes I'm able to push that along through like you sending me an email, or we have the sign up WLS tokens. We are testing away, and hopefully within this week it'll be out and about. So that will free up some time for me. So I'm pretty excited about that. The only other thing I have to say is there have been some minor problems in the Discord community, but they seem to have worked themselves out. And I want to thank all you guys for kind of helping to calm down situations when they pop up rather than feed the fire. It has been kind of a stressful week this last week, and I appreciate help from all of you to kind of make it a better time. So, hopefully today has been a lot better, and hopefully it just continues on that way. And I just want to thank you guys all for being here. And yeah, that's about all I have. So if you want to introduce our guest for the night, we can do that portion, and then we can move on to questions.
Yeah, definitely, and it's good too to see that things how they get resolved over in the Discord, and we're not seeing anything spill over to the platform. So everyone seems to be behaving on the platform. We haven't seen any kind of aggressive, flaggings or arguments in posts. Nothing's been brought to our attention about that. So it's good that people can come over to Discord, kind of air out some things, and at the end of the day, resolve things peacefully. So that's good. We're always going to have differences.
Yeah, we actually had a very kind of heavy adult appropriate debate yesterday for about 20 or 30 minutes. And I was very pleased with the fact that we could debate in such a way without anybody getting attacky towards one another. So great group of people we have here. People are coming in every single day. So we're growing in numbers, guys. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, we always have to remember that we come from all different parts of the world, different countries, different cultures and backgrounds. So we're always gonna have differences of opinions, and it's great that we can communicate in a civilized way, work things out. You can still agree to disagree on some things. We're never always going to agree on things, and that's fine. But being part of a community is finding ways to work through those differences for the betterment of everyone. So that's great. I'm happy to hear that things smooth over. All right, so for continuing with the theme of community, Meredith, if you are ready, she has an announcement for everyone. This is something I've actually been looking forward to ever since we've launched the platform. I participated in her challenge back on Steemit, and it was fantastic. I've met a lot of people this way. I don't want to steal her thunder. I'll let her step up and make the announcement, and we'll share the link, of course, in the chat here if anyone hasn't seen it yet. So Meredith, if you're there.
I am here. How is everybody?
Awesome. I'm doing great. Hopefully, everyone else is doing great. I'm looking forward to hearing about your announcement.
Okay, so on the platform, what I did was make a post that the beast is coming. And actually, PowerPix, I think that was a nickname that you gave the community engagement challenge, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, definitely. That was something as it got rolling, and I saw how much work you had to do behind the scenes, keeping track of, I think it was like what 43 something people, and the amount of posts coming through and comments, and I mean, it was just the only word you could describe it was a beast. That's how big it was getting. I mean, I remember your blog post over there just grinding to a halt as you tried to load the page as we were moving along. Is pretty impressive.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So the genesis of the Beast was it actually is a community engagement challenge. It started over on Steemit, and for me, it was one of those moments where I was like, you know what? I'm fed up with a lot of these spammy comments and things like that. I'm just going to put my money where my mouth is. I'm going to put some steam into this, and I'm going to put a challenge out there for anybody who's crazy enough to do this. And so what I said was, you know what? We're going to take 10 days. You have to write a minimum of 7 posts in these 10 days. Now, you can't write 7 like spammy posts. They have to be with minimal requirements. So 7 minimum posts. They have to have at least one featured photo that is properly cited. So people who don't do that are going to learn how to, or they're going to be coached to. We're going to coach you to use proper tags and things like that. But on top of that, in this 10-day period, I am challenging everybody to post 500 comments. And people are like, whoa, that's crazy. How is that even possible to do that? And I'm saying that if you interact with your community, and I'm not saying this is it, I'm not saying that you have to just focus on your own posts. This is to go out into the Whaleshares community, find people that you connect to, and strike up conversations on their post. You would be very surprised by how many comments you can accumulate in that amount of time. And not only that, we do fun things like, a lot of people that I found on Steemit, they were like, oh, what do you mean I can use a GIF for a response? And I'm like, absolutely. So let's do something fun and create a post where it's nothing but GIFs and memes, and we're just going to have so much fun with that. And we did. And I think that was about the time I want to say that we probably broke Steemit, because that's when it was having the problems with their what was the problem that we had, PowerPix? Do you remember? It was bandwidth, I think.
Yeah, I think so, because it was right in the middle, I think, of the challenge when we started some of those issues. Even the page itself was having trouble loading, but yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so there were bandwidth issues that were going on with Steam, and people were like, "Oh my gosh, I gotta finish this. There's no way I'm gonna do it." And I promise you that anybody who wants to participate, we're gonna give you all the tools and all the support that you need to do to get across the finish line. And one of the things that I'm doing behind the scenes is I'm talking to the other witnesses who have whale token for basically, excuse the pun, but they're token prizes. Okay, it's not really about the prizes at the end. It's the journey. It's getting there to the end and having this experience of creating these great posts, building your community, learning how to communicate on a platform like Whaleshares and even Steemit. And I would even encourage anybody who's using Masdax.io to cross-post into Steemit. Now, unfortunately, I'm only one person, and I wish that I could do this on Steemit as well. I mean, there's a part of me that really wants to, but there just isn't enough me to do that. But I encourage you to do the cross posting and build that interaction on Steemit as well. The other thing that I want to point out is that this is not a follow for follow campaign. I don't care if you follow me or vote for the witness account. I don't care if you follow each other. It's not about that. I do not encourage that at all, because everybody's different. Everybody has different subjects that they like to talk about, and the communities that they want to build. So it's really important that in this participation, it's really uh, about building your own community. And that is the thing that I want to focus on. Build your community, have the tools to create good posts, learn what it is that manual curators are looking for so that your posts stand out. You know, a lot of people come on this platform, they've never blogged before. And so they're like, well, what's the secret sauce? Oh, it's not fair. You have all this attention and I don't. You know what? Put in the work. If you put in the work, people will notice you. People will follow you. They will connect with you. I mean, I've made so many connections because of that challenge and because of the community outreach. All right. I can write so much so quickly, but you know what? It's a matter of formatting, and you know, it's I could throw up a post very easily and it could take me 5 minutes. All right. And then but you know what? If I did that, how much time and attention did I put into it? How much care? So a part of this is also like taking the time to really figure out how to put the care into your post, and then the rest of the time should be focused outward. Go out into the community, find your people. I like to say find your tribe. That's really the purpose of this. It is a learning experience, and I'm not going to lie, it is hard, but that's what makes it a challenge.
Yeah, and you know what was super awesome about it too? I mean, I met a lot of people who I'm still in contact with over in Steemit, and some that have even jumped over now to Whaleshares from that challenge. But like you said too, when you're finding your tribe, you're finding your group. We had other people that were interested in photography and who were taking up. I remember Tony's drawing contest he used to do. So people were able to make posts based on other challenges and stuff that they were doing, or contests within the Steemit community, and then post about that. And then they found other people who were interested in art and photography as well. So it was, I mean, that's how that whole networking and community building thing really happens. And, people shouldn't get too focused on, oh my gosh, it's a full post every day or 500 comments, because like you said, those 500 comments actually went by pretty quick just by learning to interact on someone else's post and say, hey, that was really thoughtful, this and that. Then they'll normally reply to you and you reply back to them. And it has a little mini conversation. And those comments actually went by pretty quick. I remember that part at least.
Yeah, and touching on what Krista says here, it isn't a blogging platform, but a sharing platform, and that's 100% true. But we need something to share, and so and when I say quality is subjective, when people are talking specifically about their whether it's photography, oh, that's great photography, oh, that's great writing, and things like that. Yes, I mean, obviously that's subjective, but when it comes down to the nitty gritty, the bones of a post, um, there is quality in that. There is quality in how you put it together and spending the time to make a good presentation. I mean, look, if you think of it like a cake, all right, you can make a really you can make a cake, and it could be ugly as hell and nobody's going to want to eat it, but you put a little frosting on it, you take some time, you put some decoration on it, and you know what, then people appreciate it. And that is really something that I really strive for people to understand, that a lot of times it's about the presentation and it doesn't necessarily have to be about the content.
Yeah, I was actually responding to Savo saying that he remembered Fuzzy saying that people should be able to post a picture of a half-eaten sandwich if they want to. That's why I was pointing out that it was a sharing platform and not a blogging platform. I do, however, agree with you per our chat yesterday that it's important to give people the tools to improve if they want to. And I believe that your challenge is kind of showing the way instead of just telling the way. Yeah.
And the thing also is that I'm going to go back to the 500 posts, because that seems to be the thing that a lot of people focus on. They're like, oh my God, you're asking too much. This is too hard. You know, if you write good post or great comment, or something like that, that is spammy. That will get you disqualified. Now, I'm not saying that you have to write a whole long thing, but when you're responding to people, let them know that you've actually, I don't know, read their post, or appreciate, ask them questions. When you strike up a conversation and you build up that dialogue, you would be surprised how fast those comments go.
Oh, absolutely. Because I've definitely had things where there hasn't been any video and people have commented, nice video. And I'm like, where's the video? Looking for it. So I think that showing showing the writer that you read it is often more valuable, in my opinion, than rewarding it.
So that's basically my spiel, guys. It launches on the 21st. I'm taking down names so I have a general idea how many people are interested. I was talking to Freedom earlier, and he says, well, we're a brand new platform. Do you think you're going to get 40 people? And I said, Freedom, within 24 hours, 10 people signed up. So I don't know. I'm hoping, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think it should be fine. I mean, especially as words start to spread, because we'll be able to promote this challenge here in Discord as well. And of course, you had mentioned about the different whale token owners coming in to support the program. Like, I'm going to support it. Chris is supporting as well, and I know others will also. Um, as we start to build that kind of token reward pool, it will also help people know that there's going to be a reward for this effort, but they do have to put that effort in, and it all comes back to the community networking anyway. So in the end, not only are you walking away with the being proud saying I actually completed this beast of a challenge, you also get, say, the token reward, but on top of that, you should have met a lot of people who have similar interests as you and who end up becoming followers of you and people you'll follow as well. And so you'll find more people that are going to long-term support the content that you post. So it's kind of like a win-win-win-win all the way across the board.
Bushkill just gave me permission to support this with his tokens as well. So add another token to that list. And also, I think that I will participate, but exclude myself from winning the prize, just to show people that community is important. It's important to me. That's what Whaleshares was built for, was for the community. So I think look forward to me trying to challenge myself to follow the rules. But I won't be actually a participant because I'm not taking any reward.
That is going to be so much fun. And again, there are going to be some people who don't cross the finish line. I mean, that happened last year when I did this on Steemit, and there were some people who they kind of got a booby prize because they were so close, but they couldn't make it to the finish line for various reasons. One was going to school, another one had family issues, another had health issues, and that's okay. If I'm seeing at least effort put in through the challenge, I know that stuff happens. Okay, I live stuff every day. We all do. My As much as I love that we have these whale tokens and people are going to support it, I don't want to focus on the prizes. I want to focus on the experience. And then these prizes are just going to be that icing on the cake. It's going to be the candles that light the fire. And I think exactly, we're going to focus on the fun. And at the end, when everybody's like in zombie mode, okay, right in time for Halloween, we're talking about possibly opening up a room to do a Halloween party / celebration. So I want to get the music going. I want to get people in there cheerleading everybody who needs to make it to the finish line. And that that last day, those last few hours, man, it was so intense, but it was so fun. And people were like, I'm getting there. I'm going to do this. And it was just, I have goosebumps just talking about it because it was such a wild experience. And I really encourage as many people to participate in any way possible. I mean, you don't have to be like formally signed up for it, but you know what? Follow along, see how far you get. Even if it's your own challenge and you do it quietly, that's okay.
Okay, anything else to say, Miss Meredith, before we open it up for some questions?
Nope, just questions. That's it.
Firepix, you got anything else, or can we flood the mics?
Well, we can also briefly touch on Chrono Crypto's announcement about the Whaleshares social media blast day, which next week in the post, so I'll grab the link and drop it in here really quick for everyone. So in the post, he is describing that we're going to do a social media blast day to help promote Whaleshares across the interwebs. So, if you want everyone, follow this account at Chrono Crypto, and look for the update coming next week about when the date is and instructions and how this is all going to start and roll. But this is going to go along with Meredith as well. So you'll have two kind of community initiatives running around the same time, getting us through October, which is like super awesome for both community building and then also promoting the platform and getting more people to come over and be aware of what Whaleshares is. And I don't think Kronos speaks on the mic, but Meredith, if you wanted to put any input on this, you're more than welcome.
Okay, I have to actually meet with Chrono to see if he's set up the Thunderclap already. If that's the case, then everybody can, we'll start guiding people towards the Thunderclap where you can sign up, and that is where you basically say that you're going to share this out on your social media. So if you've got a Facebook account or a Twitter account, it doesn't matter how many followers, if you're an influencer or whatever, all of those numbers add up. And then what happens is on the date of the Thunderclap at a specific time, that tweet and that Facebook message will go out at the same time and reach that audience. So it's really kind of cool.
I participated in one once before that was from Steemit, and it was actually kind of neat that it just kind of sent it out on its own. Kind of a fun thing there.
Yeah, so basically you sign in and you say, okay, I'm going to sign up with my Twitter account or my Facebook account, and that's it. You forget about it, and then the time of the Thunderclap goes and it's automated.
Yeah, I think it's a great service, so I'll definitely look forward to that. Okay, and with that, so we don't have a bunch of dead air going on, if anybody has any questions, feel free to either type them or go ahead and speak them on the mic. Anybody's welcome to talk, so go ahead. Or not, and I'll just continue to run my mouth. Doesn't really matter to me. But if anybody does have any questions, it might be better.
I would love to hear more about the whale tank thing.
Oh, okay. So Whale Tank worked a bit like Shark Tank did, where you would have different community leaders, whales, come in and support with their. Hold on a second. I have a kid watching YouTube next to me. Hold on. He wanted to be by me. Anyways, different whales would come in and support various projects happening both on the blockchain and off of the blockchain. and basically compete for the support of whales, is how it was meant to be. Well, it ended up just being competing for the support of one whale. And Fuzzy would essentially give people 1,000 Beyond Bits to go towards their projects so that they could raise funding for the various projects. There have been a couple different, I mean, I attended them weekly when I first entered the blockchain last year ago. Haha, that's funny. Last year. And so Hairshares came on and they received NetD received support for his project, and then the family protection uh I don't know what it was called, but family protection that was on CMAT also came on, and they got some support. There were a couple of really cool projects. Um, and then sometimes the participants would actually take and share drop some of their tokens on audience members as well. And they do a lotto. And so we're trying to bring the idea back. We've got a team of about 5 of us, I believe, that need to kind of meet and iron out the details. All of us are so busy. So, like PowerPick said, it's probably at least a month out at this point.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I mean, what if your project is so good the whales are like fighting over your project?
You know that we have various whales now. I'm not exactly sure how it will go, if all of us will support the winning project, or if different ones will go and decide a different one wins. Like I said, there's details that need to be ironed out still. We need to figure out which whales yeah, cage fight to the death. There you go. That's what's gonna happen. No, we have to figure out which whales want to partake in it. You know, how much would be given out, all those different things. I'm not even sure who's going to be hosting it, to tell you the truth. I'll be involved in it in some way, and so will PowerPix, but not sure I'm the right person to host, so we'll see.
Man, this is getting away from us. WFC. Let's get ready to rumble.
That's pretty clever. I am very excited about the different types of promotional efforts that community members are making on their own. We don't really have a marketing team per se. The launch team equals the marketing team. So it's very nice to see community members coming up with their own ideas of how to promote. It's great.
Yeah, definitely.
Red's Fallen, I guess I'm not really sure what you're asking. A good place to learn tools and comprehension of the whale tokens. Is that where you're?
Well, different things. If we're talking about the whale tank and stuff, blockchain, well, that's more specific than just what we do. But anything that has to do with our platform, you can find on whaleshares.io and the official account. So it's slash at Whaleshares. And that has all the updates and explanations of what we're doing. And so even when we get to the point of the whale tank and other projects and things coming out like that, you'll always find the announcement and information about it and details and all that stuff on that account. That's where all the official announcements will come through. But blockchain lessons on its own, that would be Uncle Google.
Anybody else? Questions, comments, concerns? What do you like? What do you hate? We kind of run this so that we can kind of put things out into the open, bounce ideas. It's just kind of good to get together and be able to talk, but we try to keep it around an hour. So if nobody has any questions, I'd say PowerPix could probably end the recording. Okay. Well, here's a question. Would Whaleshares get dApps like DTube? And if yes, how soon? I'm not aware of that being in the making at this point, or even anything that's been discussed. However, so many different community members are making all sorts of tools right now.
Yeah, and I guess going along with that too, remember, not everything is going to be built directly by the Whaleshares dev team. As Krista was mentioning, community participation in building these tools and services and adding to the API that connects to the chain and stuff is always welcome. There are several witnesses who have already built some tools for us and more that are coming. But as far as the platform, yeah, right, Whale Connect, yeah. So, but as far as coming directly from the dev team itself, nothing, nothing in the plans like that. Because, the whole point was for us to kind of make the platform, evolve it to be different than Steemit, um, get it, like I always tell you every week, get it to where we envisioned it to be, and then hand it over to the community. But, as you see by hitting the homepage on Whaleshares.io, on that little useful links bar on the right side, those are a lot of tools in there that have been built by community members and some of the witnesses and stuff. So we're very open to the community building these tools. If they're built correctly, they're secure, they give useful data, we're more than ready to add them right there to the homepage, and give credit where credit is due to the community who's building them. So don't always look for things to come from the dev team as a centralized place building the only tools. We want the community to participate, build things, get them out to the community, bring them to our attention, and we'll add them to the list of useful tools on the website.
Okay, Eroded Thoughts wanted to know how often blocks are produced. Being a witness, you think I would know that information, but I really don't spend a lot of time staring at them. So maybe somebody else does.
Yeah, they're 3-second block times. Same as Steemit.
Sorry, Crystal was asking if you can cancel a power down. Yes, you can start and stop power downs.
I have a question too.
Go ahead, Mr. Siva.
What do we do with the login? I mean, you see a lot of times on Steam as well that it goes wrong, for instance. Isn't there a two-factor authorization function or something in the future?
Yeah, I'm not sure if there would be two-factor authorization or not. I don't know exactly what you mean about it going wrong. Are you just having a problem where it won't allow you to log in? Or, I mean, usually with me when I'm doing that, it's because I have the wrong password for the wrong account name. But
yeah, that or yeah, I saw that somebody posted their keys, for instance, those kind of things. I mean, it's very vulnerable. Yeah, it should
well,
be made easier, I believe. It can be done easier, but yeah, this is yeah, yeah, a little bit stupid, like actually.
well, I think that is the purpose of having different keys for different functions. People sharing their keys with people, I can't help that. That's something they did. Oops, sucks. But I mean, there's nothing we can do to prevent somebody from doing what they will do, right? But I think that's it's important to know, if anybody here doesn't know, always, when in doubt, log in with your posting key. If it needs your active key, if for some weird freaking reason it needs you to put in your owner key, which is the only thing you need that for, is to change your keys, period, then it'll prompt you to have you put that key in. So when in doubt, whip out that posting key and plug that in. And then if you need the active key, it will force you to put it in before you can move forward. Will Whaleshares create an app that can be used to access Whaleshares directly rather than using our local browser? Not that I'm aware of. Again, maybe a community member might at some point make an equivalent of like a phone app, but I haven't heard anybody on the dev team talking about it, and that's not our main focus right now. What other exchanges is Whaleshares targeting to get listed on? We're so new right now. We're not targeting to get listed anywhere else at this moment. We have had talks about possibly in the future trying to get listed somewhere else, But you have to understand that WLS is actually a UIA, or a user issued asset. So at this point, the only place that it exists is on BitShares. But I mean, that might not always be true, but it is true right now.
For instance, you come up with a concept and you need an account for it to be more formal about it. If some people have 3 accounts, inclusive their personal account, and 2 concepts they do, they need to switch the whole time between, keys and copy paste and these kind of stuff. And that's just, it can be done easier. So yeah, it doesn't feel to me logical.
Okay, so on the one hand, you're telling me you want it to be more secure because you want two-factor authorization. And
Yeah.
on the other hand, you're telling me you kind of want it to be less secure because there's too many keys. So I don't really have the solution for that necessarily. I know for a fact that it'll never become create your own password. I love my mom 1234 because we're dealing with real money here, right? So it's just not something that's feasible. Unfortunately, I would just suggest I save my keys in various different places. I try to keep them offline. That's about as safe as I can be with it. Same thing with my social security card. I don't carry it around. I don't put it online somewhere. I hide it, right? Just like my birth certificate. Those things are things you hide. I wouldn't tell anybody, my password for my bank, like PowerPix pointed out. So, I mean, if you have a different solution, that would be great, but I don't.
Yeah, if I, for instance, have with my mobile phone, for instance, with my number, if I can access multiple accounts with it, will be way more easier, with just applying and say, okay, this account, and that the keys are in the phone, basically, something like that.
Well, the problem is if you could access multiple accounts, oh fuck, my Steemit account got hacked. Oh fuck, now my Whaleshares account's hacked, my BitShares account's hacked, my other BitShares account's hacked. Now I'm completely broke and devastated. Whereas if one got done, yeah, you'd be sad, but it might not be as devastating.
Nah, no, it's working different. I mean, yeah, there's an app for it, which is usable for one password everywhere, actually. But yeah, it's different. It's just a suggestion. So I think it's yeah, it can be feeling more secure sometimes, but that's my opinion. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can see why two-factor authorization might be a good idea. I do use it for some things, but I would not want all of my accounts linked with the same magic word to open them. My crypto wallets look healthier than my bank account does. I'd be like more likely to hand over the password to my bank account.
If I look at my phone now and then it opens, these features are going to be developed more and more, I believe. So yeah, just would keep in mind that this is possible, can be possible to have something for that maybe in the future. I mean, it's working very easy, so yeah, you don't need to have a key anymore, actually, just a face or a fingerprint.
Oh, I could see somebody probably developing something similar to that, like show your face to open your account, or I have a fingerprint thing on my phone. I actually haven't ever set it up. I'm terrified of getting locked out of it by trying to set that up. That's the silliness in my mind. Like I said, I'm a person who has a physical copy of my keys because I'm like terrified. Okay, I'll stop running my mouth. Anybody else have any questions?
Yeah, is there a time or I have the feeling that there is a time schedule for stuff. Things have to be quick, and yeah, I don't see why. I mean, just relax and let it flow and let it come, right? I mean, that's the best way, I believe.
You mean as far as the recording goes, or as far as the platform goes?
The platform, not the recording.
Yeah, I mean, we're not really on a time frame so much. We have accomplished what we wanted to accomplish. We launched on time, our share drop happened on time, the power down went by pretty smoothly. So I don't know that there is a actual set date for any of the new features that will be coming out or not. Maybe PowerPix has a better idea of that, but I'm not aware of a time frame.
No, I don't think we were giving a time frame for it. We just know that there's things coming down the pipe in development. But I think we were loosely saying that it was about 2 or so months out from, our launch date to kind of get to the next step. So we don't want to like drag our heels on things. We want to make sure we're getting to the one because, like we always mention every week, we want to make sure we get it to the point where we're satisfied with like meeting all the goals that we'd envisioned for it before handing it over to the community. So we don't really want to delay that process longer than we need to.
Yeah, well, shares is kind of new, and at the same time, I think we all want everything that's already there for every other platform that has a little thing that's a little bit better in it. We kind of want that all in Whaleshares right now. So all those other little things are out there that you haven't done yet. They're all the things we're all screaming for.
Yeah, and we've mentioned in the past, it's a very, very small team. We're not talking hundreds of people. We're not talking dozens of people. We're talking, a dozen or so people. So all in good time. I think that the team will be added to a little bit, just to try to get things done a little faster so that our main guys don't get overwhelmed. But it's not a huge team, so all in patience, right?
Yeah, Whaleshares itself is older than a couple of months, I know that. But the platform itself there to be typing in and stuff like that, that's not there that long. And the people who are there have not been there probably for every instance on every something that needed to be done a hard fork for on previous platforms. So there is a lot of things they're going to have to go through. There is a lot of issues they're going to have to overcome, and some are going to be harder than they thought. I think people realize that, but at the same time, we still want all those things now.
Well, all in good times. I think that everybody has to remember that we have now hit just officially like 6 weeks, right? Since the September 1st main launch. Um, so I mean that's crazy to me that we've come as far as we have, and we will continue to grow. All of us are still learning as we go along. That's leaders, community members, dev team, everybody. We're trying to figure out what works, what doesn't work, what people want, what they don't want. So over time, I think it'll become more and more important that we have open discussions, not necessarily led by anyone except for the community, to kind of decide what we want it to look like, where we want to be at.
I say the same thing will happen where people will just start developing their own things to run on top of Whaleshares.
Yeah, I mean, there's tons of nice tools. PowerPix kind of touched on a couple of them, but we now have the equivalent of Steam now. So that's neat to be able to see pending rewards. We have a block explorer that works flawlessly from what I've seen. That's helpful. So there's so many different things that are being developed. A new tool at least once a week. Um, I have faith that our community will keep growing. We have a lot of smart people, a lot of creative people, who believe in this place. So You know, we will probably need to discuss some sort of account recovery. We actually do not have an option for account recovery that I'm aware of at this point. And I think that it will probably be tied to the owner key because that's really the only way to know that things are safe. Um, Nobody has your owner key but you. Once those keys are generated, you only see them. That's why you generate them on the spot as you're creating the account. So I don't have a way, even as being a member of the dev team, to get into your account. So, um, that's all you. So save them right now 10 more times if you don't have them saved.
Yeah, make some extra backups with wrong keys for just in case you get hacked or something, you know. So yeah, best thing is to keep it offline, right? Actually, completely offline. It's the best thing.
Freedom's threatening to kick people right now.
I just Sugarfix is such an attention seeker. He's got no avatar. It's annoying me.
You have no idea about that guy.
I don't want to know.
Yeah, you do.
Okay. Sorry, let me take the floor one more second. Anybody else have any questions? I will give you about another 2 more minutes. And if not, I'm gonna tell Mr. PowerPix to sign us off.
I am looking for coins from people to test, so you can send them to me and I will test them for you.
Oh, that's a good one.
I'm here to help.
I tested everybody's already. They're all working flawlessly.
I know, but it's just a backup, just in case, and I'm happy to report back if my post gets way up there. I'll send you a screenshot.
Now that's value for money.
Damn it.
Okay, PowerPix, that's your cue to do your sign off, sir.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us for the Whaleshares Hangout. And be sure to catch us next Tuesday, same time, 7 p.m. Eastern time, in the official Whaleshares Discord. So we'll catch you next week.